Hey y'all, how is everybody? I hope everybody's having a having a lovely Saturday so far. I have a project that I'm going to work on over the next several months or so, and this is a personal project, um, and it was inspired by Johanna. Did a series called hashtag Nameless Art Journal, where she put together a book, and she has tutorials, and she goes step by step on how she makes her cover and the pages, and then art journaling with just random nameless photos. You know, we all love these vintage photos, and so it's just an idea of what to do with some of them, and some art journaling and techniques and stuff. And I really thought it was really cool. Now, I'm not doing that same thing, and this is something a little bit different for me, because I've been wanting to take some of my family photos, and I have a pile of them here, and I probably will not use them all, I don't know, but this is my family. So I have some from my mother's side, and then I have some from my father's side. This is my mother. And I've had these photos in a box, and I really want to do something with them. I don't know dates. I'm not sure how old she was in some of these pictures. Now this is her wedding picture, I do know that. I think this was prom. Anyway, so I have all these, I just have all these pictures of her and my aunt and my grandmother. And then there's a couple of pictures of me and my brother, when we were little, and my dad when he was in the service. I have one picture of my grandfather when he was young on my, that's my mother's father. He passed away when I was little, so I must have been 11 or so. And then, other pictures of my dad and my brother when they were little. Anyway, just a bunch of random. I pulled up, that's me and my brother. And then, more of my dad. And it's uncanny. I may do some things where you can see pictures of my nephew and my son. This is my dad, and he looks identical to my nephew there in that photograph. So I have all of those, and then I thought this was a wonderful idea. I've always kind of wanted to do a heritage journal, and I apologize if I squirrel all over the place, but I get ahead of myself, and my brain moves faster than my mouth. But yeah, I've had all these, and then since I don't have dates and stuff like that and places, but I do want to document them, and I've just got so many, and I just thought I would do this rather than the nameless one. But some of these folks who are family, and I believe this is on my father's side, these are really old photos. They're postcard photos, and they came out of my great aunt's stuff. My dad had a box of stuff that belonged to her, and an old scrapbook that had all these really cool things in it. So I don't know who a lot of these people are. I'm pretty sure they're extended family, part of my ancestry. So I need to kind of get with some of that side of the family and find out, who some of these people are. So anyway, and this one is super, super old, and it's got a lot of damage. It's like a board. So I would really like to find out who some of these people are. But this is my great aunt. Anyway, you get the idea. So I have all these photos, and I'm going to do it with my family versus, and some of them will be nameless because I don't know who they are. But so I gathered all these photos, and then I gathered a bunch of different pieces. I'm going to cut these clocks out, and then random scrap papers that I had in my stash. And then more scrap paper, more paper, some tea-dyed paper, some black cardstock. That's what Johanna used, the black cardstock and the tea-dyed paper, And then I've pulled some other really pretty papers that I like that I thought would work well in this. Of course, Tim Holtz. And then there's this pretty piece of vellum I had in my stash. This is some old K and Company paper. And just some other really pretty paper. This is some beautiful handmade paper that a customer sent me, and I think I'm gonna try some tea dye on some of that and do some things, but very pretty paper. So I pulled all that. And then for my cover, now she makes the cover. She does her cover from scratch. I have two options here. And she does a distress, she paints it and she puts all this texture and she does embossing and stuff like that. And then she cuts this piece out in the middle. And then she put a pretty, you know, like a pretty piece of needlepoint or something behind that so that when you close your cover, that kind of comes through. I'm not sure that I'm gonna do that. I have some ideas about my cover, but I had this beautiful cover here, and it's already got some great texture, but I'm gonna cover that up. And it's large, so it's almost like a, it's like a 2.5 inch spine, and then of course it needs, you know, needs some salvaging. But I think Jessica sent this to me. I can't remember. She sent me some covers, and I like the size of this one. It's pretty large, so it's like yeah, it's like 8 by 11. So there's that option. And then I just recently took this apart because I'm doing some glue books and, well, glue book art journals and stuff that I'm getting ready to put up. And the pages in here are just awesome. This one is like 7 by 10. So I'm not quite sure. I think I want a larger journal because I do have a lot of photos I want to use. And for me, if I'm gonna do different techniques and different paintings and painting and textures and thicker things, I'm thinking this is gonna work better. But my plan for my cover is this. I have some more of this, if you can see this behind me. So I have this beautiful textured wallpaper that I thought would be beautiful. So I'm gonna glue some of that on here. This is my plan. And of course it will probably morph, but I'm gonna glue some of that on the cover and on the back. And then inside, I've got this pretty, I pulled out a bunch of different pretty things. This is my plan for the binding on outside here. Once I get the texture and the paint and everything like I want it, this is gonna go on the binding on the outside. And then I just pulled other little random beautiful pieces from my stash to use. So this is what I'm thinking. I think this is the piece, yeah. This is the piece that I'm thinking on the inside here. Once I do this, and I'll probably tea dye this. I'm gonna put this in here. One on this side and another piece. I got two pieces here long enough, so it'll be a double. So that'll be inside there. And then just all these other pieces. I just pulled a lot of stuff out that I thought, you know, that I thought I might use throughout here in bits and pieces while I'm journaling. And now this is my plan. It could take me another year to do it, but I've already pulled all this fun stuff out. And just most of this is just little bits and pieces of things that I had. You know, scrap pieces left over from other journals that I've made. This I was contemplating maybe using in here, but I'm not sure because this is the other piece of that I used on that little baby girl book, and I may end up using that again on another book, but I pulled it out. But I just had little beautiful, you know, pieces that I could use here. And this would also be pretty, I think, to use on the inside of that, the inside of the book, maybe as pockets or, and then these, it's a vintage sheet and some other fabric that one of my customers sent me that I thought would be really pretty in here. So try to keep it, the neutrals, try to keep things neutral for these types of pieces. anyway, you get the idea. But so that's what I pulled. That's what I pulled out for those things. And then I went through, like she did, Johanna did the cutout. I'm not so sure I'm going to do that. I think I may do like one of these pieces, and I just haven't made up my mind, you know, which one yet. So I got me some different options there. I'm leaning towards this one, but we'll see. And then there's some other vintage things in here that I pulled out. Like this belonged to my great aunt. This was my mother's. It was a pin of my mother's. Her name was Betty. Well, Elizabeth. Everybody called her Betty. And then these are some really old clip earrings that I thought I might take the back off and use it somewhere. An old key, some little old keys. That were in one of my mom's little boxes. A really old skeleton key. And then these are just other things I had in my stash that I thought might be pretty in there. Some really pretty buttons and a couple of my flowers. One of Phaedra's sunflowers that she made me. And then some other little pieces that came from some customers. Little charms that Jessica sent me. So that I thought would fit in here, and more of those little flowers that Phaedra made me. So I just pulled little trinkets that for charms and things. I'm not sure if I'm going to construct my book the same way. Well, it won't be the same way that Johanna did it. I'm taking that idea and that concept and using what I have to make this journal, and then doing it about, you know, my family versus the nameless. But it's really cool, so y'all need to go check it out. And it's hashtag nameless art journal, and I will link her beginning of her series below, and I'll try to take you along once I get the cover done. I'll come back and do a video and show you the cover, and when I start working on the pages. Don't hold me to a timeline though, because this is something that might take me months to do. I have some other things that I'm in progress working on too, but I just had pulled all this stuff. She's already finished with her series, and I've just started. So anyway, but it was just something that I thought would be fun to do, a little bit different than what probably most of you have seen me do. And I think, you know, you used to seeing me do the kids' books and the golden books and things that are geared more like that. So I wanted to challenge myself to do something a little bit different. But anyhow, go check it out, and I'll keep you update on my progress as I go along with this. And I have another video to do today. I've made some art journals / glue books / collage books / just regular junk journals. I've made 5 that you could really use them for whatever you want to. I think they turned out really cute. So that video is coming up, and I'll see you soon. Bye.